Hey guys, tonight we're slithering into the sun-scorched, hair-trigger life of an animal that is pure, terrifying legend. The black mamba. You've seen the clips, right? The blur of grey gliding through the savannah, the gaping black mouth, the reputation as Africa's deadliest snake. It's portrayed as an untouchable angel of death, a confident master of its domain. But trust me, the daily reality of being a black mamba is nothing like that action movie fantasy. It's a relentless, high-anxiety struggle for survival, where you're just one cold morning or one hungry eagle away from the end. It's physically demanding, endlessly stressful, and frankly, it's a nightmare. So as we settle in, feel free to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy the stories we share here. Let me know in the comments where you're tuning in from and what time it is in your part of the world. It's always amazing to see who's joining us from all across the globe. Now find a quiet spot, maybe cool the room down a little, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. There is no welcome, no gentle nudge from a mother. Your first act isn't a cry, but a violent, exhaustive push against a leathery prison. You break through your shell into a world of damp, musty darkness. You are born inside an abandoned termite mound, a hollow log filled with rotting leaves, a nursery chosen for its warmth, then immediately abandoned. You are not greeted by family. You are greeted by the scent of decay and the empty, broken shells of your clutchmates who have already fled or been eaten. You're 45 centimetres of life, a thin, perfect little killing machine with no one to teach you how to live. You have no memories, only instinct, and that instinct is screaming one single paralysing truth. Run. You're not the predator you will one day become. Right now, you're prey. Everything, and you feel this in the very vibration of the soil, wants to eat you. A monitor lizard sniffing at the entrance to your nest, a civet digging nearby, a hawk circling high above, its eyes built to spot a single, misplaced scale in the grass. Even other snakes, the very thing you are, see you as nothing more than a quick meal. You may be born with a full load of potent neurotoxic venom, but that's a weapon for stopping the heart of a mouse. It will do nothing to save you from being torn apart by a bird of prey. You are alone. You are tiny. You are terrified. And every shadow, every rustle in the leaves, every distant footstep vibrating through your jaw is a potential death sentence. Welcome to your first day. Survival isn't a goal. It's a frantic second-by-second improvisation. But before you can act on that terror, before you can flee, you hit a brutal biological wall. Your brain might be screaming, but your body is a cold, useless prison. You're an engine without fuel. The damp darkness of the nest has left your muscles stiff and unresponsive like cold, wet ropes. You have the mind of a killer, the instincts of a survivor, but the body of a corpse. Your first and most important job isn't finding food or shelter, it's managing the sun. You have to get warm, and to do that you must leave the only shred of safety you've ever known and expose yourself completely. Moving is agony. Every inch is a slow, shivering drag across the dirt. Your slender body, which will one day glide like water, now moves like cold tar. You finally push your head into the open air, and the world explodes in light and heat. It's overwhelming. You find a nearby patch of sun-drenched earth, a flat rock, maybe, and you lay yourself out, motionless, vulnerable, a dark, perfect line against the pale ground. And then you wait. You are a living sacrifice offered up to the sky. All you can do is lie there as the warmth begins to seep into your scales, a slow, life-giving transfusion. You feel it waking up your muscles, unlocking your joints. But with every degree your body temperature rises, so does your anxiety. Because up there, in that vast open blue, is the hawk. On the ground, the mongoose. They see you, a defenseless, motionless strip of protein just soaking up the sun. Every passing shadow of a cloud is a bird of prey. Every distant vibration is a predator's footstep. You are a solar panel and a bullseye, all at once, praying you can absorb enough life before something else comes to take it. And you can't even hear it coming. Not in the way you might think. You have no ears, no eardrums to catch the snap of a twig or the whisper of wings. The world of airborne sound is a silent movie you will never get to watch. Your sense of hearing is far more intimate, far more physical, and 1,000 times more stressful. You hear with your jaw. As you lie there, your head pressed flat against the warm earth, your entire skeleton becomes a sensory organ. Your jawbone acts as a receiver, picking up every tiny tremor from the ground and transferring it directly to the bones of your inner ear. The whole planet is a speaker, and it's pressed permanently against your skull. This isn't a superpower, it's a curse. There is no filter, there is no off switch. You feel everything. The frantic, light-footed skittering of a sand lizard nearby, the deep, resonant thud of a warthog trotting 50 yards away, the subtle shifting of a mongoose in its burrow, vibrating through layers of rock and soil. It all feeds directly into your body as a constant thrumming, unfiltered stream of information. And you can't tell what's a threat and what isn't. Is that a harmless beetle crawling past, or the light steps of a bird about to strike? Is that the wind shaking a root, or a predator digging its way toward you? There's no direction, no distance, just a constant humming anxiety. The earth doesn't whisper secrets to you. It screams warnings, all day, every day, and your only job is to try and guess which scream will be the last one you ever feel. Finally, the warmth soaks through. You're no longer a cold, stiff rope of flesh. You're a loaded spring, every muscle humming with borrowed solar power. The constant, vibrating anxiety from the ground beneath you is still there, but now you can actually react to it. You can flee, you can fight, you can hunt. But that energy you just spent 15 agonizingly vulnerable minutes collecting, it's already burning away. For a reptile, you have a scandalously high metabolism. It's a furnace roaring inside your slender body, a biological tax for the speed and agility you'll one day wield. You don't get the luxury of an ambush predator like a viper, waiting patiently for days or even weeks for a meal to wander by. You can't afford that kind of patience. Your body is a high-performance engine that demands constant fuel. The hollow ache starts in your gut. It's not a suggestion, it's a command, a countdown timer. This forces you into the most dangerous job on the savannah, active pursuit. You have to patrol, you have to search, you have to chase down your food, and every single hunt is an all-or-nothing gamble. Every lunge, every burst of speed, every moment spent tracking a scent is a massive withdrawal from an energy account that is already perilously low. A failed chase after a quick-footed rodent isn't just a missed meal, it's a crippling net loss. The warmth you so carefully gathered is wasted, leaving you colder, weaker, and closer to starvation. A few failed hunts don't just leave you hungry, they push you back towards inertia, back towards the cold, back towards becoming that motionless, helpless strip of protein you were on that basking rock this morning. The fear of being eaten is now matched by a new gnawing fear, the fear of fading away. And so the hunt begins. A flicker of movement, a scent on the air, you see it, a squirrel maybe, or a rock hyrax twitching its nose oblivious. This is where your legendary venom comes into play. But it's not the weapon of a confident king. It's the tool of a desperate, fragile creature. You. You don't have crushing jaws or powerful claws. You're a thin, delicate tube of muscle and skin. That squirrel you're about to strike is not helpless. It has razor-sharp teeth and claws that can tear through bark. A single, panicked bite from that rodent, a desperate scratch as it thrashes for its life. That's all it would take. Not to kill you outright. No, something much slower. A cut, an open wound. In this world of dust and bacteria, with no medicine and no one to care for you, a small infection is a death sentence. It festers, it weakens you, it makes you too slow to hunt, too sluggish to escape the sun, until you're right back where you started. A cold, helpless offering for the next predator that finds you. You cannot afford to get in a fight, ever. And that's the real reason for your venom's terrifying efficiency. It's not designed for defense. It's designed to prevent your prey from ever fighting back. You strike, a blur of motion, delivering the neurotoxin with one or two quick, precise bites, and then you release, instantly. You pull back and watch from a safe distance as the venom does its work, shutting down the animal's nervous system in moments. It's not a boastful display of power. It's a calculated, desperate act of self-preservation. Your venom isn't a sword, it's a shield, ensuring your next meal doesn't give you a fatal parting gift. The meal is a heavy, warm lump in your belly, a brief victory in a war that never ends. But the satisfaction is fleeting, because the sun is already starting to dip, painting the sky in shades of orange and dread. The warmth you've been living on is fading. The air grows teeth, and you know, with a primal certainty, that you cannot be caught out here in the open when darkness falls. To be cold is to be paralysed. To be paralysed is to be food for the night shift. The civets, the genets, the owls with their silent wings and piercing talons. This is why your entire world, a sprawling territory that can be several square kilometres, hinges on a single secret point on the map. A hollow log, a deep crevice in a rocky outcrop, a specific forgotten tunnel in an ancient termite mound. It's not a home, it's not a nest, it's your panic room, your one and only retreat. And you have it memorised, not just its location, but the path to it from every corner of your range, every twisted acacia, every sun-bleached animal skull, every dry riverbed is a landmark on your mental commute back to safety. You don't wander aimlessly. Every patrol, every hunt is a calculated risk, a journey on an invisible leash that can only stretch so far. Go too far out, get distracted, and you won't make it back before the cold locks your muscles and the night consumes you. Every single evening is a race against the setting sun. As the shadows lengthen, a new instinct takes over, overriding hunger, overriding everything. Go home. You feel the urgency in your cooling scales. You glide through the grass, no longer hunting, just commuting, your whole being focused on that one single destination. This one dark, earthy-smelling hole is the only place in the entire world where you're not completely, utterly exposed. It's the only place the constant, vibrating anxiety in your jaw might finally quiet down. It isn't a shelter, it's the off switch. And for a moment in the cool, silent dark, the switch is finally flipped. The constant humming vibration from the earth is gone, replaced by the deep, comforting quiet of your burrow. But true rest doesn't come. It can't, because that heavy, warm lump in your belly, the prize from your hunt, is a throbbing reminder of the gamble you just took. Not the chase, not the strike, but the 10 minutes that came after. Because after the venom does its work, you have to find the body. You follow the fading scent trail, praying another predator hasn't intercepted your prize. And when you find it, a warm, still shape in the grass, the real horror begins. You have to swallow it whole. Your jaw doesn't just open, it dismantles. Ligaments stretch, bones pivot. Your lower jaw unhinges and separates into two independent pieces. You aren't taking a bite. You're disassembling your own face to accommodate a body that is 3 times the width of your head. You begin the slow, agonizing process of pulling yourself over your meal. It's not swallowing, it's a full-body workout in reverse. You hook one side of your jaw, then the other, ratcheting the food down your throat millimetre by nauseating millimetre. The prey's fur scrapes against your delicate throat lining. Its limbs stretch your skin to a translucent, paper-thin membrane. You can't breathe properly, you can't see what's in front of you, and most importantly, you cannot strike. Your only weapon is completely disabled, your mouth full of your last victory. For these 10, 20, even 30 minutes, you are the most vulnerable you will ever be. You're a self-paralyzed creature, halfway through a grotesque meal, utterly defenseless. If a mongoose, a honey badger, even a large bird of prey were to find you right now, you could do nothing. You couldn't flee. You couldn't fight. You could only hope it kills you before you choke. Every second is a lifetime of pure, helpless terror, a silent prayer that nothing finds you in this monstrously compromised state. That lump in your gut isn't just food. It's the ghost of a risk so profound, it makes the hunt itself feel like child's play. So it's no surprise that your primary survival strategy, the one baked into your DNA deeper than your venom glands, is to be utterly and completely invisible. You're not a fighter, you're a ghost. Your legendary speed isn't for chasing down threats, it's for vanishing from them. You're a world-class sprinter whose only race is away from danger. But sometimes the world corners you. A honey badger digs you out. A human stumbles too close. Your path back to the burrow is blocked, and escape, your one and only trusted defense, is suddenly off the table. This is when the mask comes on. You stop. You raise the front third of your body high off the ground, a sleek grey periscope of pure alert. Your neck flares slightly, not a full cobra hood, but a subtle, threatening broadening. And then you open your mouth. And the world goes dark. In that moment, you reveal the secret you keep hidden, the shocking, absolute inky blackness of your mouth's interior. It's a void, a sudden terrifying tear in the fabric of the savannah, framed by your pale jaws. It's not an aggressive roar. It's a silent, desperate scream, a diamatic display, biology's version of a jump scare designed for one purpose and one purpose only: to startle, to confuse, to make the predator hesitate for just one single, precious second. A second that might give you the new escape route you need. It's accompanied by a sound, a hollow, airy hiss that isn't a warning growl but the sound of you emptying your lungs, trying to make your small body seem vast and full of death. This entire performance is a bluff. It's a panic attack made visible. You are burning calories you can't spare, holding a posture that screams with tension, all in the desperate hope that you look scarier than you feel. You are begging, without words, please, just go away. Because if this bluff fails, the only option left is to strike. And a defensive strike is a catastrophic failure. It means you've gambled your venom, risked injury, and put yourself at the centre of a conflict you never ever wanted to be in. And sometimes the bluff works. The threat hesitates, confused by the sudden gothic display, and you use that split second of doubt to vanish back into the undergrowth. You've survived another confrontation on the ground. But the problem with spending your entire life with your jaw pressed to the earth feeling for footsteps is that you forget the deadliest threats don't have feet. You've been so focused on what's in front of you that you've forgotten to look up. Up there, soaring on thermals so high it's just a dark speck against the blinding sun, is a martial eagle, and it sees you. Perfectly. It doesn't see a legend. It doesn't see a fearsome killer. It sees a long, dark, nutritious shape moving through the grass. Its eyes, 8 times sharper than a human's, can track your every slither from a kilometre away. You have the best eyesight of almost any snake, but you're built to scan the horizon. You have a massive, terrifying blind spot directly above you. You don't hear the whisper of wings. You don't feel a vibration in the ground. The first and only warning you get is a flicker, a sudden shadow that drops over you like a thrown cloth. But in the half-second it takes for your brain to process shadow, it's already too late. There's a silent concussion. An impossible, crushing weight slams down on your back, and a pain so sharp and absolute it erases all thought. 4 daggers of bone and keratin, the eagle's talons, have just punched through your scales and shattered your spine, pinning you to the hot earth. Your venom, your ultimate weapon, is useless. You can't bite what's behind you. You can't strike what has already severed your connection to your own body. You are utterly, completely and instantly neutralized. This is why you live in constant paranoid fear of open spaces. Every clearing, every patch of sun-drenched grass between one bush and the next is a kill zone. You don't glide majestically across the plains. You dash. Frantic, desperate sprints from one piece of cover to the next, like a soldier running between trenches under sniper fire. The sky isn't a beautiful, vast emptiness. It's the ceiling of an arena, and it's lined with patient, hungry eyes, just waiting for you to make one wrong move. Somehow you make it. A frantic, desperate dash across the kill zone, and you throw yourself into the low, thorny branches of an acacia bush. You collapse, a trembling coil of scales and adrenaline, every nerve screaming. You survived the sky. But the relief is a shallow breath, because the problem with having your head pressed to the ground is that you're always the last to know when trouble is already at your front door. It's not a vibration this time, it's a flicker, a high-speed blur of brown fur that dances at the edge of the bush. It's a mongoose. And it's not just passing by, it's here for you. This isn't a lumbering brute you can intimidate or an oblivious rodent you can outsmart. This is a specialist. A nimble, wiry assassin with reflexes that operate at the speed of thought. It watches you, its body a tense spring, its black eyes shining with an unnerving, calculating intelligence. And this is where the rules of your world completely fall apart. Your venom? The weapon that lets you avoid a fight? The mongoose knows all about it. It has evolved alongside you, a living counter-argument to your existence. Its body has a natural, baffling resistance to your neurotoxins. A bite that would drop a hyrax in a minute might only make the mongoose sick or dazed. It won't be an instant kill. And that gives it time. Time to dodge, time to recalculate, and time to land a killing blow of its own. Your only hope is a frantic, close-quarters battle you are biologically designed to avoid. It becomes a horrific dance. The mongoose feints, darts in, and you strike, a reflexive snap that you pray connects. But it's already gone, a ghost of fur leaving you biting at empty air. Each missed strike is a catastrophic waste of energy. The mongoose keeps coming, a relentless, chittering storm of teeth and claws, always trying to get behind your head, because it knows your one critical weakness. You can't bite what's clamped onto the back of your own skull. This isn't a hunt, it's a duel, and even if you win, even if you land a solid bite and the mongoose retreats wounded and dizzy, you've lost. You're exhausted. Your venom reserves are depleted, not for a meal, but for a pointless, terrifying brawl. And now you have to survive the rest of the day, weak and vulnerable, knowing your nemesis is still out there, and it might not be so dizzy next time. The mongoose is gone. The violent thrumming in your jaw subsides, leaving behind a silence that feels more like exhaustion than peace. You're depleted, your muscles burning with the ghost of a fight you barely survived. But the moment of stillness doesn't bring relief. It only makes you aware of a different, more intimate kind of torment. A slow, crawling irritation around your eyes. A constant, low-grade itch under the scales along your back. It's an enemy you can't run from because it's already on you. You are an ecosystem and you are infested. Your body is a walking buffet for parasites. Ticks, dozens of them, have burrowed their heads into the soft, thin skin of your eyelids and the delicate folds between your scales. You can't see them all, but you feel their presence every second of the day. A constellation of tiny, blood-engorged vampires permanently latched onto you. You have no hands to pick them off, no claws to scratch. All you can do is twitch your skin, a useless reflexive shudder that does nothing. This isn't just an annoyance, it's a slow-motion exsanguination. Each parasite is a tiny, steady leak in your already strained energy budget. The blood they sip is the fuel you so desperately need to hunt, to escape, to simply stay warm. It's a tax on your very existence, a chronic weakness that leaves you just a little bit slower, a little bit duller. It makes you more vulnerable to the eagle in the sky and the mongoose in the brush. You survive the brawl, you survive the hunt, but you can't survive the slow, patient drain of 1,000 tiny mouths that live on your own skin. This is a battle you can't bluff your way out of, a threat you can't strike. It's a quiet, crawling horror you're forced to carry with you everywhere you go, a constant, draining reminder that even your own body is not a safe place. And just when you think you've catalogued every possible torment, from the sky above to the parasites on your skin, a new kind of madness arrives on the breeze. It starts with the air itself. Something shifts. A new scent cuts through the familiar anxieties of hunger, heat, and predators. It isn't food, it isn't danger. It's a chemical signal so powerful it overwrites every other instinct you have. It's the pheromone trail of a receptive female, and your solitary, paranoid existence is about to be violently interrupted. Following that trail becomes your only mission, but of course, you're not the only one. Suddenly, you encounter him. Another male, just like you, drawn by the same siren call. He isn't prey to be eaten or a predator to flee from. He is a rival, and the unwritten law of your species demands a reckoning. There's no bluffing here, no gaping black mouth, no hissing display. Your fangs, your ultimate weapon against the world, are useless. They stay sheathed. This is something older, more primal. It's a ritual combat, a brutal wrestling match to decide who is worthy. You move together, and your two long, powerful bodies intertwine, coiling into a single, writhing column of muscle and scale. The goal is simple and agonizing: to push his head to the ground, to pin him, to dominate him through sheer brute strength. Your muscles, built for lightning-fast strikes and desperate sprints, are now locked in a contest of pure endurance. You heave and strain, pressing, twisting, trying to gain leverage as his body slams against yours. This is the most catastrophic waste of energy you can possibly imagine. Every calorie you meticulously save from your last meal, every watt of solar power you soaked up this morning, is now being burned in a pointless, violent ballet. The fight can go on for what feels like an eternity, a grinding battle of wills that leaves your muscles screaming and your body temperature soaring to dangerous levels. Even if you win, you lose. You're left utterly exhausted, a trembling, depleted wreck. And the loser, forced to the ground in defeat, slinks away just as spent, now too weak to hunt and too slow to escape a real threat. The one time you're forced into social contact with your own kind, it isn't for comfort or cooperation. It's for a strength-sapping duel that leaves you weaker, more vulnerable, and just as alone as you were before. That exhausting, grinding combat wasn't your fight. You were the prize. After the victor collapsed, spent and heaving, he came to you. The encounter was brief, impersonal, another biological transaction on the savannah, and then he was gone. You're alone again, but now a time bomb is ticking inside you. The weeks that follow are a new kind of hell. You're carrying your entire genetic legacy, a clutch of up to 17 leathery eggs, and they are a lead weight in your slender body. You're slow, you're heavy, hunting is clumsy, and escaping is a fraction of a second slower than it should be. Every rustle in the grass, every shadow from above, is amplified because you know you're no longer just fighting for yourself. You are a vessel, a fragile, overburdened transport for a future you will never see. A new instinct, ancient and absolute, begins to scream louder than the need for food or warmth. It's not a nesting instinct, it's an eviction notice. You have to get them out. You start searching, not for a cozy nest, but for a garbage dump, a place with enough rotting vegetation to generate heat, a hollow log filled with damp leaf litter, a crumbling termite mound, a place you can unburden yourself and forget. When you find it, you crawl inside, and your body begins to spasm. One by one you lay the eggs, a physically punishing, resource-draining ordeal that leaves you utterly depleted. And when the last egg is laid, the switch flips. The hormonal command is over. The burden is gone. There is no lingering feeling of connection, no maternal instinct, no backward glance. There is only the sudden, profound relief of being empty. You turn and slither away without a moment's hesitation. You abandon your entire lineage to rot in the dark, hoping the heat of decay will be enough. You will never know if they hatch. You will never know if a monitor lizard finds them an hour after you leave. You have fulfilled your biological function, and now, weak, starving, and finally alone again, your only job is to go back to making sure you survive until tomorrow. Your children are now, and forever, someone else's problem. You've ejected your entire genetic legacy into a pile of damp, rotting leaves, and now, finally, you can focus on yourself, on regaining the strength you've lost, on hunting, on recovering, on getting back to the sharp-edged business of survival. But your body has other plans. It's decided that now, in your weakened post-maternal state, is the perfect time to betray you in a whole new way. It starts with a strange, constricting sensation, like your skin is a size too small. Your scales, once sleek and gunmetal grey, turn dull and faded. But the real horror happens in your eyes. A milky, blue-white film begins to creep across your vision, like a cataract forming in a matter of hours. The world you rely on, a world of sharp edges, flickering movements, and distant threats, dissolves into a soupy, impressionistic blur of light and shadow. Your sight is gone. You can't hunt. You can't spot the eagle. You can't navigate with any confidence. That patch of open ground you could dash across in 3 seconds is now an impassable, terrifying void. To be outside is to be a blind, helpless piece of meat, waiting for a predator you won't even see coming. There's only one thing to do. You retreat. You find your way back to your permanent lair, that familiar dark burrow, and you crawl inside, not for a night, but for days. You are now a prisoner in your own home, trapped in a sensory deprivation chamber of your body's own making. The world of sight is replaced entirely by the world of vibration. The humming anxiety you feel through your jawbone is no longer just background noise. It's your only connection to reality. Every tremor feels like a threat approaching, but you can't lift your head to check. You just lie there in the suffocating dark, blind and coiled, listening to the footsteps of monsters that may or may not be real. You are starving, you are weak, and all you can do is wait for the world to come back into focus, praying that nothing comes to find you while it's gone. And then, one morning it's over. The old dead skin finally splits along your back. The milky caps over your eyes break away, and the world, blurry and impressionistic for days, snaps back into excruciatingly sharp focus. You are raw, your new scales are tender and bright, and you are starving with a desperation so profound it feels like a physical injury. You uncoil your weak body and slither from the suffocating darkness of your burrow into the light, ready to hunt, to bask, to feel the sun on your fresh skin. But the world you emerge into is wrong. It's not the light that hits you first, but the taste. A taste on the air that isn't animal or earth. It's sharp, acrid, and coats your tongue in a film of choking dust. Ash drifts from the sky like soft grey snow, and then you feel it in your jaw. Not the familiar scattered vibrations of individual animals, but a single, deep, thrumming panic. A low-frequency earthquake made of 1,000 fleeing feet, all stampeding in the same direction, away from something. You lift your head to scan the horizon, and your blood runs cold. The sun is a pale, sickly disk, buried behind a bruised orange-brown haze that has swallowed the sky. And there, in the distance, is a crimson line on the earth. A hungry, crackling wall of fire consuming the savannah, roaring as it advances, a bushfire. All of your finely tuned survival skills are suddenly laughably useless. Your speed? You can't outrun a roaring inferno that moves with the wind. Your venom? You can't poison fire. Your camouflage? You can't hide from an enemy that burns your cover to the ground. Every instinct screams at you to flee, to retreat to the one safe place you have. But your panic room is about to become an oven. If you return to your burrow, the smoke will pour in and suffocate you long before the heat bakes you in your own skin. For the first time, you are face to face with a predator that does not hunt, that cannot be bluffed, and that has no weaknesses. It is a force that is erasing your entire world, your hunting grounds, your landmarks, your home. You are trapped between the fire in front of you and the fire that will soon engulf your only escape. There is nowhere to run. There is nowhere to hide. The world is ending, and all you can do is lie there and watch it burn. And yet, you survived. Not by outrunning the inferno, but by disappearing into the one place it couldn't reach, deep within the earth, in some forgotten aardvark burrow, a tomb of cool soil that became your sanctuary. When you finally emerge hours later, your world isn't just silent, it is gone. The grass, the shrubs, the landmarks you used to navigate back to your lair, all have been erased, replaced by a uniform blanket of black ash under a bruised, smoky sky. The constant thrumming anxiety you once heard through your jaw, the vibration of 1,000 lives moving around you, has been replaced by a profound, deafening stillness. The planet has finally gone quiet. Just yesterday, this silence would have felt like a gift, a reprieve from the frantic skittering of prey, the heavy tread of a scavenger, the shadow of the martial eagle, or the relentless strength-sapping duel with a rival. A break from the agonizing weight of 17 eggs, or the crawling madness of parasites on your own skin. You have been prey, predator, parent, and patient, all in the same endless day. You have been blinded by your own biology, cornered by your own reflection, and hunted by specialists who evolved just to kill you, and that was just a Tuesday. We wouldn't have made it this far. We would have frozen on that first basking rock given up in the suffocating darkness of the shed, or choked on a meal too big to swallow. We came here tonight expecting to see a monster, an untouchable angel of death gliding confidently through its kingdom. But that was never you. We found a creature living on a razor's edge, a high-strung, perpetually anxious survivor whose incredible adaptations aren't weapons of aggression, but desperate tools of self-preservation. Your legendary venom isn't for killing, it's for ensuring your food never has a chance to injure you in a fight you can't afford. Your world-class speed isn't for attack. It's the engine of a masterful escape artist. That terrifying black mouth isn't a roar of dominance. It's a silent, desperate scream, a bluff born of pure terror, begging the world to just leave you alone. You are not a confident master of your domain. You're a master of enduring it. And now, in the aftermath of the fire, you must endure this. A new world, empty and alien. The sun begins to sink and the cold starts to creep in. Your hunt for warmth, for shelter, for your next meal begins again on a playing field that has been wiped clean. Your old home is likely gone, but you are not. A flicker of movement. You lower your head to the scorched earth. The world is gone, but you remain. You're a black mamba. Your job was never to be a legend. It is simply to last until tomorrow.